I will, again, going back to our agenda, start off with inviting, again, the president of Sages Africa, Desiree, to give us a really, it's a keynote, but also giving us a bigger picture of this landscape. You know, there is, as the partners have already expressed, this is Africa's time. We're excited. We're incredibly young generation, very technologically switched on, very tech savvy, connected to the global discourse. But we're really interested to see, what does this mean for us? What does it mean from a development perspective, but also as an opportunity to disrupt, to create opportunities for the Africa we want? Over to you, Desiree.
Thank you. So we'll switch to the presentation, Discover the World of Esports. So we are really late, so I will go fast on all the slides, just take it as an insight about esports. So some of you already knows this presentation. For example, in Mauritius or Madagascar, I already had the chance to share it with some of you. So let's start. I will introduce myself. I used to explain what I'm doing, but I have a video that will be perhaps more fancy to introduce myself.
With decades of experience in esports and adjacent industries, Desiree Cusaro is a celebrated figure in the French gaming community. Cusaro co-founded Gamers Assembly all the way back in 2000, a LAN party which to this day remains a community focal point for the famously vibrant French esports scene. In 2014, he joined ESL Gaming as event director and later managing director of the company's French arm, working to strengthen the esports giant's brand in the country. He joined France's official esports association, France Esports, in 2017 and became its president in 2022. Through France Esports and his other endeavors, Cusaro has invested much of his time in shaping esports in the country and left a lasting impact on the scene. He has worked particularly closely with the government, from local to national politicians, including French President Emmanuel Macron, to encourage acceptance and growth of esports. Cusaro has played a distinct role in France becoming recognized and commended for its forward-thinking approach to working with the esports industry. Cusaro continues to become a champion for new communities, launching Sages Africa in 2022 to help build out esports communities in Africa.
That's it. That's my resume. So it's just to explain. I had the chance to start esports in 2000, so 26 years before, and it was first just a hobby, and now it's become my job, my career. So from a leisure to a job, this is the promise for all of you. You can become tomorrow a professional from our industry. That's really important. So let's talk about esports. What is esports? You know gaming. I think everyone is playing a game on his phone and so on. But when we talk about esports, we are talking about a competitive gaming. That means that you are fighting against someone else or against a group of players. If you are playing alone, you are not doing esports, you are just doing gaming. So we are here to talk about this esports area. We will come back to that after. So these are the three, let's say, main categories of esports. Connected sports is more for sports federation, cycle or this kind of thing. This is not really what our communities are looking for. Even if you go to the National Olympic Committee, they will talk about this kind of, exer games because it's closer to their own environment. But it's not what the players are really looking for. Then you have sports simulation, like, EAFC, ex-FIFA. You have eFootball. You have NBA 2K for basketball, etc. So these are more closer to our ecosystem of esports. But again, if you see the best, the biggest events in the world, these are not sports simulation. You cannot fill a stadium, an arena with EFC or eFootball today. We are coming to the real esports, meaning the esports that is growing really fast in the world. This is the competitive gaming based on some games. Let's discover some of these games. These are the top esports games in the world in 2024. And you see there isn't even one sports simulation. You don't have EFC, you don't have NBA 2K, you don't have eFootball, you don't have any sports game. The esports is mainly on this kind of game, fighting game. I know people don't like to talk about, shooting, but shooting games, yes. Shooting games are really strong when you come to esports. So this is really to explain why we have to change our mindset, especially in Africa. We are really focusing on eFootball, EFC, but if we want to go to the next level, we have to open our doors to these main games. And something fun is that the biggest esports games is a mobile game. And it's meaningful for us because in Africa, mobile gaming is 90% of the practice. So we have a place to take here. In 2024, Mobile Legends was biggest than League of Legends in terms of viewership for the big final. So that's really important. Of course, you have League of Legends, Dota 2, Valorant, Counter-Strike, all these games, Fortnite, of course, and PUBG Mobile. PUBG Mobile in Africa is really strong. So this is really something we need to focus on. How can we leverage our ecosystem? We have to change our mind and open our doors to other new communities. In Africa, you see, we have big sports simulation, EA Sports, eFootball are really big. And then you have League of Legends, Valorant, Tekken. This fighting is really strong in Africa, even if it's not as strong as, League of Legends and so on. When you come to Africa continent, you have strong opportunities with VS fighting. So we have also to build our own story. Perhaps Africa could become the mecca of VS fighting, Street Fighter, Tekken. We have this chance to have good players, but we don't have esports stadium. We don't have esports infrastructure. If you want to develop football, you build stadium. If you want to develop swimming, you build swimming pools. If we want to develop esports, we need to develop esports infrastructure. And mobile, of course, is really strong in Africa. PUBG Mobile, Free Fire, Call of Duty Mobile, Mobile Legends are really growing. And even the publishers, so the creator, the owner of these games are now trying to invest in Africa since last year. We had PUBG Mobile in Nigeria, PUBG Mobile in Kenya, organized by the publisher itself, the owner from China coming and organizing it. We had something with Free Fire for the first time in Nigeria a few months ago, in January, I think. So, yeah, it's starting to move, but we have now to support these creators, these publishers to come with us. Let's see what's the ambience of an esports event, because perhaps for some of you, it's just playing, in your couch. This is esports. Yeah, this is esports. We can fill stadium, we can fill arenas. In France, we organized something in Paris, 3 days of competition at the Accor Arena, is the biggest arena in Paris, something like 15,000 people each day during 3 days. So 45,000 people coming 3 days just to watch Counter-Strike competition. This is what we are talking about. So there is a real opportunity to develop something big. And then you have what's the ecosystem? You have here the explanation how we built this ecosystem. Of course, we need here the publishers. Publishers are creating the games. When you want to organize a competition, I mean an official competition, you need to talk with the publisher. Why? Because the publisher is the owner of the game. You cannot come and say, I will organize something with 10,000 people without talking with the guys who is owning the game. Even us, for organizing this small event, we talk with the Bandai Namco, the publisher, the owner of Tekken, because they are the owner. And if you want to develop this ecosystem, you have to take the time to talk with them. Then you have the teams and players. This is really important because they are our ambassadors. These players today will be the face of our competition. So teams and players are really important to onboard on our strategy. You have broadcasters, of course, because it's like football. I don't know, Football World Cup is existing because you have cameras, TVs covering, and millions of people watching. This is the same. In esports, we need to develop also the storytelling of our event. I see so many events where people are just playing in the room and saying, yeah, we are the best, the biggest tournament organizer in the country. Yes, but you have 50 people watching at it, and you want Coca-Cola to invest on it? No. So you have to develop the storytelling and to broadcast it, to share it with as many people as possible. And then you have brand and advertisers, because without money, you cannot do anything. Esports is like traditional sport. Without sponsors, you cannot do anything because someone has to pay. In esports, the main economy is based on sponsoring. So this is also something to explain to brands. Why could you invest in esports? When we are talking about the market of gaming and esports, it's not a small thing. This is the three main creative industries in the world. You have music, $25 billion in the world. You have cinema, $44 billion in the world. You have all the platform, Netflix, it's $80 billion in the world. These three industries in the world together is something like $150 billion. This is the size of the market of these three industries. When we come to gaming, we're talking about a $200 billion market. So gaming alone is bigger than music, cinema, and platform. You have to tell it to your leaders here. Why are you investing in the cinemas? Why are you investing in concerts? Why are you developing, like in Nigeria, this industry of series and TV shows, but you are not investing in gaming? This market is really for Africa because it's for the youngest generation, and Africa is the youngest continent in the world. We have something to explain to our leaders. You see, here is the average age of players. You see, any other sports are really older. So you want to reach the young generation as a Coca-Cola? This is the best way to talk with this generation. But it is something to explain. We are not just here to organize a tournament and to play. You are also there to talk to your partners, to explain them why they should invest in what you are doing. So some figures about gaming around the world. So this is the number of players around the world. You see the biggest one, Asia Pacific, mainly China. It's the biggest market. The second one, Africa and Middle East, is the second biggest market in terms of players. Before Europe, before Latin America, before North America. This is the size of the market. You imagine the potential. But when we come to value, we are the last continent by far. So how is it possible? We have one of the biggest markets in the world, but when we come to create value, we are not on the map. So we have something to to work on, something to talk about. We have to take time. It won't be 1 month, 1 year, even 3 years mission, but we have something to do. We have some challenges, technological challenges, electricity, internet, latency. I know you you are already aware about that. Economic challenge. In France, you want to play to League of Legends, you just go to the retail, you buy your PC, and then you start to play with your friend. In Africa, it's not the same. To play League of Legends, meaning you just spend $1,000 to buy your PC just to play. It's really difficult. And also, you want to travel to attend a competition, just to take the plane. It's like $1,000 to take the plane to go in the closest country in Europe. With $100 you can fly in Europe. So this is also a barrier for development. We need to work with all these leaders, political leaders, to make this market more fluid, just to develop what we are doing. Sociological challenge, this is the biggest thing. You have to talk to your leaders. Gaming is not a danger, it's an opportunity. Of course, there is risks like any other practice, but there are so many opportunities. I don't know if you have kids, but if your kids say, I want to go to play to FIFA or to EFC, eFootball, you will say, no, you have to work. But if your kid is saying, I want to play football with my friend outside, yeah, let's go. So this is our collective responsibility to change the mind of all our leaders. This is an opportunity. And this is why we are organizing this kind of event, to explain that. And this, you are becoming now an ambassador of this mission to take time. I had the chance to talk to Emmanuel Macron. Now he is supporting gaming and esports everywhere in the world. But before that, even if sometimes he has some declaration, but sorry. but yeah, anyway, it's because we took the time to explain what we are doing, what is the potential. We have professional players, we have a real industry, and then you can do the same, guys. Take the time. It's not only asking for money, please, Ministry of Sport, we need $10,000 to do something. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to explain why they should invest $10,000. What is the purpose? So this is really important, the sociological challenge. But we have so many opportunities. We have already big events in Nigeria, in Côte d'Ivoire, in Madagascar, in Morocco, here in Egypt. So we have many international events coming now in Africa. In Kenya, we did it recently, the first ever official final of PUBG Mobile Africa. It was in Kenya with my friend Ronnie here. So let's finish with a use case. How a country used esport to develop its economy, its leadership. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, I had the chance to go to Saudi Arabia in 2019 for the first time. I was invited by the government to share my experience. I was the managing director of ESL. ESL was the biggest esport organizer in the world. Now it has been acquired by Saudi Arabia. It was the first time I was going there just to explain what is esport. There wasn't any esport industry at this time. I told before the princes, I explained what I am explaining to you here. I explained it to the princes and the government, and they decided to invest in gaming and esports. And today, Saudi Arabia is the biggest actor ever in esports. They decided to invest more than $35 billion in gaming and esports few years ago. And now they are going further. They are organizing the two biggest esports events in the world. Esports World Cup, 2 months of competition, July, August, 2,000 players coming from everywhere in August, in July, in Saudi Arabia, with, 60 degrees under the sun. Before that, there wasn't any tourism in July and August in Saudi Arabia. Because of that, now they have tens of thousands of visitors coming in July and August to attend the event. And now they decided to invest in a new competition, Esports Nations Cup, because you see here, the Olympic Esports Games were supposed to happen this year in Saudi Arabia and Riyadh with the IOC. But for Saudi Arabia, it was too difficult, too slow, and they decided to cut their agreement with the IOC and to create their own competition, Esports Nations Cup. All esports nations could attend. Let's have a look at it. 15 games title, Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Dota, EAFC, Rocket League, PUBG Mobile, Mobile Legends. All the main games we saw before will be present in November there. Even chess is part of the competition. 16 game titles during 4 weeks in November. Here is the agenda. This is the roadmap. They already started to ask for application. I'm pretty sure all the president of federation here tried to apply because they are open to everyone to support the development. It's really a national competitions. That means that each country should have an organizer. So we have, Kenya is there. We'll organize it for the country. We have, Cote d'Ivoire. We have Cameroon. We have Ghana. We have, I think, 10, 15 countries applied and are today in the process to become the national organizer to select players and support them going forward. So this is a complex process, but they want to, stick to the Olympic spirit, to have some kind of national Olympic committee, but national esports committee, and they are investing in it. They are investing $45 million. There will be $20 million of cash prize for all the players. There will be $20 million shared between all the organizers, meaning Kenya, South Africa, Morocco. They will get 5, 25, 50. Even for France, we are talking about $500,000 to just support the development of the delegation, paid by the Saudi Arabia. So they are really trying now to structure the market, the global market. And it's funny because when I started to talk with the Saudi Arabia in 2019, I was explaining them that, you should start by developing Saudi Arabia, then Middle East, and we'll see. And now they are the biggest markets in the world when we come about esports. So that's it. It's time to fight back. We have to move. We have to try to build something together. I'm pretty sure this is this kind of event that could allow you to talk together, to build a strategy, to come back to Saudi Arabia with a strong delegation, not only national but continental delegation. Africa needs to come back with some trophies and medals, and this will take time. The first edition is 2026. The second edition will be 2028. Let's focus on 2028 because 2026 is already done. We have time, but don't lose time. That's it. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow. Again, honestly, another round of applause to Desiree. I think he has given us a fantastic, really big picture into this ecosystem. I think the entry into this global market, for me, I'm just blown away by the economic value that it has, that it outperforms the traditional creative industries combined on a global level. but also most interestingly, it's the tourism element, so East Africa, we know we're really big on, how do we supplement this tourism thing? Those are entry points. And for me, that's very interesting that you've been able to bring this. But also that, the huge opportunity for mobile and Africa, and us being a really young continent, it's almost untouched, uncharted territory. So there's a massive opportunity there. So honestly, for me, that's absolutely mind-blowing. Any questions because I feel that he has set the stage for the business of esport. And of course, we have a couple of panels that will build on what he has said. But I just felt that I can give room for maybe one question really to the connoisseur of the industry.
Mr. Desiree, an honor. Thank you for having us. My question to you is, what do you think are the qualities a brand should have to succeed in the esports community? Like the core values to make sure that you're considered for a tournament of that caliber for a country like us?
It's a difficult question because each market, each country has its own advantages and its own problems, challenges. But for me, the real quality is to be authentic. I really loved, I don't know, Ronnie could perhaps explain it, but I really loved what we did in Kenya. We did a competition, PUBG Mobile competition, but with this African touch. There were some activation, dancers and singers, and it was like a festival. It wasn't just a competition. And I think that we have this culture of music, dance, arts, and we should cross this with the gaming and esports industry. And this could be like the biggest opportunity for us. And I was talking with my friend in France. They were watching the competition, and they were like, wow, this guy is real, jumping, dancing, and so on. And this is not something they used to see. So this is first. Second, we have to open our ears. It's the 6th edition of the Esports Champions in Africa. And each time I'm going in a country, I don't know, I don't want to bother my friend from Arudem or from DJ Fest, but at the beginning, you are too sure of yourself. I mean, open your ears. It's difficult. We know as difficult it is. And just learn, because we are really far away from the standards. We need to invest in it. We have the chance with the French embassies to have many programs. We welcome so many African gaming and esport people in France. And I love it because each time they come, when they go back home, they call me and saying, I learned so many things only in 3, 4, 5 days. And I think this is the most difficult thing, just to admit that you have to learn. Even if you are a big company in your country, you have to learn because it's a specific industry. And I really think that it's the biggest challenge. We need to raise the level of quality of our event. We took, 10 hours to prepare this event. It was so complicated, so painful, and that means that we have a lot of work to continue that.
Thank you. I see Brian has his hand up. Brian?
Thank you, sir. So, quick one. Since you're the former president of the French Esports, I have a question. Something I've noticed in Africa a lot is our federations tend to pick one title and die with it. What would you advise the federations here to do different, being that you had that experience and you worked with multiple communities? I mean, last year was you in Evo, and we saw there was like 6 tournaments happening in one building. Even a game reveal was done. When you look here, most of the time it's usually one title that is focused on. And I feel like it's holding us back. So I was wondering if you can shed some light to the presidents in the room to at least get some insight on how they can have everyone and the other titles for the esports titles to be in their tournaments. Yeah.
Thank you, Brian. It's a good question. In Africa, you're right. Mainly, the federation and the organization are focusing on one title, eFootball. Perhaps they could add a second one, EAFC, and perhaps a third one should be eFootball Mobile. Okay, that's good. But if we want to go to the next level, we need to open our eyes. And yeah, I think we have to start. You have 16 titles for the Esports Nations Cup. Let's get 5, 6, 7. So we have to we have to work on it, because not everyone is willing to play eFootball or to play football simulation. So please take the time to talk with your communities and to leverage these communities. If you don't, then we will still stay at the back of the queue. It's really important. It's not easy because each country is different. We talked about Madagascar and VS fighting games. You should have, Mauritius on PUBG Mobile. You should go to Morocco with other games. So let's work together. We don't have to do all the same, but we have to open a bit the scope of our players.
Wonderful, wonderful. And with that, I think we will, since the conversation is still really hot, some of the questions that are already being asked is really a beautiful segue to panel one.